welcome to the Mismatch podcast. A lot in store for this episode. We've got Zua here with us.
Hello.
He's back. We kept him around for another episode.
Just one. It's the last episode. No.
Yeah, we're kicking him to the curb with this other one.
Basically, I'm getting fired. No.
Yeah, we're going to replace him with AI. He's cheaper. Replace him with a robot. The answer is 1, 2,
0,
3.
0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0,
Gotta
0,
talk.
0.
You must talk slower.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was just saying binary numbers.
Cannot compute. Anyways, speaking of AI, that's a good place to lead off into. You're an iPhone user. I'm an iPhone user. If you're an iPhone user, leave a comment. Don't start a war, okay?
I was gonna say,
phones are good.
I almost fucked up and said superior race, and I said no, that is not the correct term. I wanted superior brand, so we're starting hot and heavy.
Oh boy.
So, anyways, if you have anything else, get your money up.
Oh boy.
It's been too long.
It has been. iOS 18. Things are actually happening for that. When is WWDC?
Soon, next month. And then
The
phones
10th.
come out. Yeah, there you go. So a week. And then phones come out September usually, maybe October.
Well, WWDC doesn't announce phones. That's in September. Usually.
No. They usually announce the phone, and then you could pre-order. I thought.
No, not in June. Ever. The phones
they announce it.
The phones get released
in September,
and then they release in October.
Pre-order.
Yeah, they release like end of September, and into the beginning of October if there's delays usually. But iOS 18, biggest rumored update to iPhone OS in a while. And like we joked about replacing Zua at the beginning of the episode with AI, that's what apparently a lot of iOS 18 is going to be about, is AI, which who cares?
Does that mean Siri will be smarter?
I don't think that's possible. Let's see what they're talking about.
Hey Siri, are you being replaced with another robot?
It looks like you haven't set up any smart home
See?
accessories.
This guy asked if Siri's getting replaced live.
So basically, if you ask my wife, it's the worst thing in the world. She's mean to them.
So, some of the rumors, according to CNNet, which is a pretty reputable news site when it comes to leaks, kind of. No, they're fine. Supposedly, we are going to have a Notes app revamp, which I don't really see how that's going to be crazy. I could definitely see them maybe tying it in with like maybe the Memo app, which was like the voice. You leave like voice memos and stuff.
That's what I'm reading right now. It's supposed to record, offer support for recording voice memos directly in the app, with recording able to be embedded in Notes, and rumored to be adding support for displaying mathematical notation for including more kinds of equations in Notes.
This one I'm actually all for. Calendar app integrating with the Reminders app. Why is this not a thing? 100%.
Yeah.
Why?
The Reminders app is pointless. I use Calendar for everything.
I don't even use Calendar. I use it
don't?
like any app that I have will actually just sync with the calendar. I just sync it. I don't actually put anything into my calendar app.
Into the calendar.
Oh, I don't. I just forget them and then I get a phone call.
That you missed it?
Yeah, or it's coming up.
And then Canada pays for it, so...
A smarter Siri. That's not possible. Um, we could skip that. No, but
That
I mean,
bitch will never be
big,
smart.
big improvement to Siri. Which it's been one of the more overlooked things about Apple phones and just Apple products in general for a while. Not as in tune as say like Google or even Alexa. Rest in peace to anyone who's listening not using headphones. We just triggered all their Googles and Alexas.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh, look at that.
Supposedly something called RCS, which is essentially Android messaging, and it's going to work alongside iMessage. It says here RCS support should improve current messaging experience between iPhone and Android users by bringing iMessage-like features. Those upgrades include sending high-quality photos and videos, contacts, read receipts, typing indicators, and most importantly, end-to-end encryption, something SMS messaging lacks. Yeah, Android does not have very good messaging security. In other words, if you have an Android phone or are texting someone with an iPhone, you'll be able to text each other over RCS instead of SMS messaging. However, it's important to remember iMessage will remain exclusive to iPhone and other Apple. RCS will not bring iMessage to Android. I mean, it's an iOS built-in feature. It's just like how Android has things that are tied directly, strictly just to Android. Right?
Here's something I
Not a
just
lot,
read.
but
CarPlay updates. So I don't know if you have CarPlay. I do.
no.
That's all. That's the only way that my phone connects to the car. It's all CarPlay. Um, so voice control is going to now let users navigate through CarPlay options and apps with voice commands, which it always should have. I don't know why it doesn't. So it's going to change the look of CarPlay interface if you're colorblind. And then this is an interesting one. Sound recognition allows drivers or passengers who are deaf or hard of hearing to receive CarPlay notifications for sounds like a car horn and sirens. I don't know how that one's going to work, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything really about CarPlay, so I can't speak on it. But like having they already had like a pop-up display that would show up with like the apps and navigation and like stuff like that, and you could use like a touch screen within a car to navigate it, right?
Yeah, that's what I have now. Yeah, but if I want to I mean, then again, if I want to play a song, I just hit the button, I say, play whatever, and it works. But I don't need to. Okay, listen. The one thing I wished for, because when I take my break, I take it in my car, and I watch YouTube videos on my break. If I could get YouTube to open up on my fucking thing on my car, I would be game changer. If I could just watch videos right there. Now I know it will never happen because some dumbasses are gonna do it while driving, but I still would like it.
I mean, you could have it while it's driving. It just plays in the background. But I mean, I could understand
Yeah.
how that would be like distracted driving, but I guess
Oh,
I don't know.
100%.
It all depends.
I don't know.
Um,
This is America, so.
AI stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I don't care about AI.
Oh, AirPods 2 will have a hearing aid mode.
I've heard that. Hold on. Okay, I want to take a look at this here. Is it the Pro 2?
Yes.
No, AirPod. No, the AirPod Pro's 3. Because they're
Is it?
already on the second gen.
No, it says launch of new hearing aid mode. While the feature was initially rumored for the next generations, Apple is now said to be planning to introduce support through a software update. It already has conversion boost for increasing the volume and clarity of people directly in front of the wearer, so it's not clear what hearing aid mode will do differently. They cannot market the AirPod Pro as offering hearing aid for those who are hearing impaired, but the FDA has approved over-the-counter hearing aids designed for non-hearing aid impaired customers.
Oh, you're on Mac Rumors. Okay, I was like, where are you that you're seeing this? Like, you're on Mac Rumors.
Yeah.
This is kind of neat. Accessibility features. Apple's working on new accessibility features for iOS 18 and macOS 15. Adaptive voice shortcuts will feature will let users create a custom phrase, and then select an accessibility setting to link to that phrase. English is hard, apparently. Speaking the phrase will then activate the accessibility option. Users will be able to toggle accessibility features like voiceover, voice control, zoom, and more. Interesting. So, voice control for apps? Open said app?
I mean, can I do that?
But isn't that with
Hey
Siri?
Siri. Open X.
You'll need to.
It opened.
Maybe because it's not clear. I don't know.
Hey Siri. Open Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it opens.
You know what? It's crazy. I can navigate to my app way quicker than asking Siri to open it. I don't even have Siri on my. I have Siri disabled.
She reads my text messages to me.
Oh, so supposedly here's the devices that will run iOS 18. The 2nd and 3rd gen SE, the XR, the XS and XS Max models, and then 11 through 15. And then iPhone 16, whatever they call it. So if you have a 10 and back, you're screwed.
If you have a 10 still, that's honestly impressive. What the fuck do I have for an iPhone? Do you know what you have?
I have a 15.
I have a 14 Pro Max.
I have a 15 Pro Max. I bought mine on launch.
Oh, my wife is gonna get the 16.
I had a 13. I just was tired of having a small phone, so I was like, "Screw it! I'm gonna get a 6.7-inch phone." I'm not upgrading until they come up with a folding one, and it better fold like the Z Fold. I don't want like the little dinky flip one. Weird.
So, I had a 11. My battery kept dying too quick at work.
It had
I had to charge it.
bad battery life.
It did. I had to charge it. I mean, it didn't help that I was in a shit service place. And I had to charge it on my lunch break to get more service. And I said, fuck that. Bought the 14 Pro Max, and I don't have to charge my phone during the workday now. I'll go home and I'll be on like 30%, and I'm like, that's fantastic.
I mean, interesting. Some interesting stuff. I know there's a bunch of other things supposedly that are coming about it. You can change the color of icons, which I mean is cool. It's stuff that they should have had forever ago. So I mean, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, it's absolutely incredible that they can do that. No.
I think that should be anything. Like, I thought you could do that. You can do
No, you had to go into shortcuts and you had to like download files, but like any app then would have to like open the shortcut app in order to open up the other app, like with the new icon. It was weird. Like you weren't able to customize it, like right on the thing. But I mean, there's got to be a reason why they didn't do it, because it's not seamless like everything else that's Apple, right? So it's got to be a reason why they haven't done it up until this time, or up until. Yeah. This time now, or supposedly they've done it this time, which we'll find out on the 10th.
Oh, we forgot about the iPad Pro 2018 and later, iPad Air 2019 and later.
I'm not surprised. Basically, if you're 8th gen or higher, you're safe. If you're below 8th gen, you're screwed. I mean, not really surprised considering the delays on the iPads. That puts it at about 6 years, which is pretty standard for Apple. 5 to 6 years, depending on how well the device sells. Maybe 7 if you get lucky. Most Macs, you get 7 years before OS stops supporting. So
it's terrible. I mean,
it's not when you consider, in fact, most Android phones don't get more than 2 to 3 years.
I was just told by my computer the other day that they're no longer. I can't upgrade to iOS to Windows 11, and they're not going to be supporting Windows 10 soon.
I mean, so
But-
what? Windows 11 sucks.
I know, but you have to upgrade.
Yeah, buy a new computer. Can't be bothered.
Hey, you got a few $1,000s for me?
No, I said I'm buying a new computer.
Oh, okay.
If you want to send some towards it, you can.
If someone wants to donate, my Venmo is Jacob/XOA.
Okay, we'll mute that and we'll cut
You
that.
can go to my Twitch.
We'll cut
There's
that.
a
We'll cut.
PayPal.me.
We'll cut that in post.
Obviously, I'm kidding. If you send me money, I will accept it, and you are the idiot.
Apple Maps. Interesting. You know what? I will say Apple Maps is really good. It's gotten a million times better. I like it way better than Google.
I have never used anything but Apple Maps. I tried Waze once. Worst thing ever.
Don't even know what that is.
It's-
I used
tells you when
I
the
used
cops are
I used
nearby.
Google when it wasn't having like issues. Will the calculator app come to iPad finally?
You know, that's kind of fucked up because it should be. And you know why I say that? A lot of people at my job sites use iPads so you can read prints, right? Why the fuck can't I add shit up on my iPad? I have to do it separately through a different I don't want to say third party, but a third party app, or I have to write it out. It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Wait, hold
know.
on. This is actually a thing. Okay, hold on. There's a couple of things here that I want to take a look at. Reducing. Reduce motion sickness. There's a new vehicle motion cues option that's meant to prevent motion sickness when looking at an iPhone or iPad while in a moving vehicle as a passenger.
Oh,
What?
my wife is going to love that.
But that doesn't make any sense because motion sickness is generally caused by just simply paying attention to something that's moving. So if you're scrolling on a screen, it doesn't make a difference.
Well, I would say yes and no because my wife gets motion sickness if she doesn't look out the front window, right? So that's why she can't like read in the car.
But the problem is that you're like literally the thing is like you're focusing on something when you're looking out the window, so it tricks your brain into almost thinking. It's weird. People think that the reason supposedly none of this is true as far as I know. The reason they think people get motion sickness is because you don't generally get motion sickness when you're running or when you're standing or biking or something like that, right? You only get it when you're in a car because you're stoic, but your brain is actively moving, right? Because the body wants to naturally move. So in a car, because you are traveling in something that makes you stationary, your brain basically is telling it that it's still moving. So therefore you get motion sickness.
Okay.
That's what I've heard. Go get the pitchforks out. I don't think it's true. But that's like the rumored reason supposedly as to why motion sickness is real. I don't know if it's true or not. Probably isn't, to be honest. Eye tracking. I'm looking forward to eye tracking. That's kind of cool. I use it with VR, and it's really neat. Being able to look at something and dictate where something goes.
Well, I kind of figured they had the technology when they released those fucking glasses.
Oh, it's been around forever. Eye tracking's been around forever. It's just not. It's just not
What were they
super.
called? The Vision Pro.
The Vision Pro. Man, when
That's
when those come to Canada, I'm for sure gonna eventually get one.
They're not in Canada yet.
No, they're not gonna release in other countries until it's the end of the
Get
year.
them off eBay.
Dude, they're like $7,000 Canadian.
No.
Dude, they're like $5,000 US, 4,500 US. Convert that
No
to Canadian.
way.
Yes. Apple Vision Pro.
Ooh. This guy wants fucking.
Apple Vision Pro is
This guy wants 3,500 for it. He probably stole it.
starting at $3,500. Goes as high as 3,900 US. So that makes it $5,300 Canadian.
Okay, well, I'll buy it for you, and you give me the $5,300.
Well, half.
US, not Canadian.
So $3,900. $3,900 US. iOS 18 and all the new updates are shaping up to be pretty decent. We'll see how things actually are. And
Basically, Apple has never let us down.
no, never. They've never done something that was like totally absolutely pointless. I like
Absolutely
Apple
not.
products, okay? And I'll defend Apple.
I like the children that make them too.
Every company does that.
Nike, Adidas,
Okay, we're never getting. Oh, we can kiss
a
any
Nike or an Adidas
any
sponsorship.
chance of them ever
Cut that out.
working.
Cut that out. Cut that out. Cut out the Adidas. Just talk shit about Nike. I love Adidas. Adidas. Listen, if you ever listen to this, I wear a size 10.5 shoe.
Send them a 5.
I'll cry.
Like a baby.
Is it, you can send it 5 women's. I should fit my wife. Okay.
Okay, send a 3 for that one.
I don't think they make them that small. For
They make baby Air Jordans.
cut that out too. Wrong brand. Adidas does not make Jordans.
I know. Well, they're the only good ones. So
Adidas or Jordans?
Jordans. Come on, you got to support his gambling addict.
Speaking of gambling, I love gambling. So I had I know we're going off topic. It doesn't really matter. My first anniversary was May 5th. So me and my wife went to the casino.
That's a great place.
It is my first time being there. So we went. Wasn't winning shit. I usually play table games. I like blackjack. I like 21. I can add to 21.
Yeah, he finally hit 21 years old and was legal age to gamble.
Yeah, well, I'm 25, so. So I'm watching my wife play the slot, and I see the one next to her was like it had like all these little things that you had to get the bonus games. I saw that it built up over time, and this person left it was all halfway full, so I started playing.
Jeez.
I fucking hit for $1,000 on that thing.
Luke.
Walked right out. I was like, oh. She was like, try and double it. I was like, nope. I cashed that out, put in some other cash I already had.
This is going to a new computer.
No, it paid for her brakes for her car.
Oh.
And groceries that week.
There you go.
And now I have to pay for her tires. Damn cars need maintenance. I now understand why people just lease cars and then give them back. It's so much easier. I have 3-year, $36,000 limited warranty. Anything breaks, they fucking fix it. I don't have to put new tires if I don't run anything over.
Speaking of things getting run over.
Where are we going with this? Where's this going?
Speaking of things getting run over.
Where are you going with this?
Xbox has been in the news lately.
They have. They definitely have. Hold on. I'm sorry, I was taking a sip of water.
They shut down 4 studios, including Arcane Austin and Tangleworks, the creators of Prey and Hi-Fi Rush. I'm going to preface this very, very carefully. They shut down a studio of a game that won them a game award and got them a BAFTA nomination alongside the likes of The Last of Us Part 2 and God of War.
Yeah.
And you shut the studio down, which arguably was the best exclusive that they had had in a very long time. Are you stupid? Seriously. Are you stupid?
I wish I could, give a opinion, because I never played the game. You know what I mean?
I never played the game, but I'll respect what it did.
We're talking about Deathloop, right? Or are we talking about a different one?
That's Bethesda. They're just a bunch of clowns. No, we're talking about Hi-Fi
No.
Rush.
Oh, okay. Well, no, Arcane Studio did Deathloop.
Yeah, but this is Arcane Austin. This is a different one. Arcane, there's different like Arcane. Like
Yep,
Arcane's just like it's just a division of like Arcane Studios,
Gotcha.
which is owned by Bethesda.
Which kind of concerns me. Speaking of Bethesda makes great games, right?
I'm
For the
still
most part.
waiting. I'm still waiting for one.
Except for Deathloop, that game sucked.
I mean, Fallout 4 was the last good game they made, and even then, people kind of
Bethesda. You can't see because we don't have any videos. I took my glasses off. Where the fuck is Elder Scrolls?
keep waiting. It's gonna be another 10 years before that game comes out.
Do you know how? Hold on.
It's gonna be 2030 by the time that game comes out. It'll be 2040 by the time the next Fallout game comes out.
Skyrim.
It's gotta be 15 years old.
Oblivion came out in 2006.
Yep.
Skyrim was in development for 5 years and came out November 11th, 2011. Veterans Day. I think.
13 years. Okay, that was a pretty good guess.
Do you know how much I've done in 13 fucking years and these people have not released another Elder Scroll?
Oh, it's
I was
got to
in
be
fucking
big.
middle
It's got to
school.
be bigger than Starfield.
Brother, it better be.
It
It better cure cancer.
It's gonna be more abandoned than Starfield. Oh man!
I better be able to fuck the dragons. At this point.
Wait, no! Wait, that was Baldur's Gate.
Oh yeah, you fuck dragons. Yep, I'm sorry.
That was bears.
Bears?
Apparently, I don't know.
Well,
I have no interest in playing the game.
I now
Anyways,
know why the women picked the bear in the woods rather than the man. Have you heard that?
I know.
So
Where is this? No.
If you go up to a woman, you ask her what she would rather run into in the woods, a bear or a random man. She's gonna say a bear.
Don't finish your comment.
They all played Baldur's Gate. The bear's hot. You gotta do a lot of editing this episode.
Oh no, we don't do any editing with this episode. If this podcast gets shut down, it's because of you.
Wouldn't be the first thing.
But seriously though, there has now been more studios closed that belong to Bethesda than exist. There have actually been more studios closed than exclusives have been released since Xbox went through their buying spree. It just seems to me like it's a failure. It's just how can
100%.
and why are you closing down a studio of a successful game? And they greenlit a second one. They greenlit a sequel.
How much of an underperformance was that game doing?
The thing is no, so here's what shot high, and you know what? Take the pitchforks out all you want about Game Pass, but here's the thing, and Sony was right about this, and they'll be right about this forever because they're never going to do it. Do not put your exclusive releases on a subscription past day one. They need to release to the public for a price. The studio needs to make money. They don't make money with a one-time purchase from Game Pass. And even if they get freaking pennies for every stream download of the game or whatever, that's not how it's not enough to operate. They make money when the game physically sells for $50, $60, $70, whatever edition or however much it costs. They make that money. The publisher takes their cut. Right? But okay, so they make, whatever, 60% of it, 70%, whatever publisher cuts are for games. Who knows? Right? Let's say for argument's sake they make 60%. They sell 3 million copies of a game. They make 60% of that, and they sell 60 at $60 US.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean,
yep.
$60.
Well, no, games sell $70 now.
I mean, Hi-Fi Rush, I don't think was a full price game though. So like, let's call it $50. Okay.
Okay.
And they sell 3 million copies. Right. $150 million, and then take away 30%. So take away. They're left with 115 million. In gross.
Okay, yeah. And you take
not
out,
net, not net. Take away taxes, take away expenses, what it costs to make the game.
Away,
okay,
like 70 million. Yep. So we'll say
there's no way it's 70 million. It's a little indie game. Less than that.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I don't know how many games the Hi-Fi or how many things Hi-Fi Rush sold. Let's find out. Hi-Fi Rush copies sold, and this is not including 2 million copies. They sold more than 2 million copies. They might be at 3, actually. So that's actually not a bad guess. Okay, so let's call it 2 million. Okay. How much Rush cost to make? Say how much it costs to make. It sounds like it wasn't like a ton of money in order to make it.
Yeah, probably a couple few million.
The game sells for 35 euro, which means it sells for like $44 US. $45 US. Unreal. The game probably made really, after everything's all said and done, the game probably made close to $30-40 million. Pretty damn good. on 2 million copies in sale, especially the fact that you were handicapped by having to release your game to Game Pass. Now just
Speaking of
imagine
games,
if those 2 million, supposedly 2 million players that it was exposed to on Game Pass couldn't get the game. Right? They had to go buy it. Now you're looking at 4+ million. Now you're looking at close to $100 million in sales that they could have made. That studio stays alive.
It does. You would think.
That studio stays alive making 30 million. Let's be honest. There's no reason that studio should have closed. There is no reason. That is on Bethesda. Because they're a part of Bethesda.
Speaking of games going to Game Pass day one, fucking Black Ops 6.
Oh, that's horrible. The price of Game Pass is going to go through the roof. We'll talk about that in a minute, though. The price is going to go through the roof. 100%. Yeah. They said the cost is going to go through the roof. It's $250 a year in Canada for Game Pass. For the proper Game Pass, because you have to get Ultimate in order to actually play all the day one releases. It is $250 after taxes and stuff for a year.
How much is the US?
It's like 20. I think it's like $15 a month in the US or something. $12 a month in the US.
That's not bad. 12 times 12, $144 a year. I pay.
It's $17 a month.
Yeah, it's about as much as Amazon Prime is a year in the US.
What, 17 a month?
No. Oh, Game Pass is 17 a month? I thought you said it was 12.
No. It's more than that. So it's $203.88 a year. That's before taxes. What's your taxes in your area?
Sales tax?
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
You don't know how much you pay?
7%.
7%. The $16.99 times 1.07, which makes it $18.17. So you pay $18.17 a month.
Multiply that by 12.
You pay $218.05 a year. Right? Think of it in Canada. Right?
Not me. I don't buy it.
It's $20. It's $19 a month. Okay, so it's a few bucks more. Okay. Out here, it's 15% tax.
Huh?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Depending on where you are. Okay, but let's say for argument for out here, that's what it is. That's what I would pay, which would make it $21.83 a month.
Jesus.
It's $261.90, $262 a year.
Jesus Christ.
I can tell you right now, I would never get that. I don't want to pay the $90 for PS Plus that it is. And I actually get games of value that are worth keeping the subscription for. In the 2 years that I had Game Pass, which came with my Xbox when I bought it, I didn't touch it for a year. Why? Because most of the games I could buy for $1 at a pawn shop.
Yeah.
I own pretty much every quote-unquote AAA game. I own it. Because I went and bought the game for $10 or $5. Because they sucked. And they went on sale like 3 months later. i.e. Starfield. Which, to be fair, I bought Starfield full price. Which
I haven't even played it still.
Yeah, if you can pick the game up for dirt cheap, it's worth it.
Yeah.
I paid $130 to play it. It sucks because it's still one of the best performing series that I ever did on my channel. Irritates me, but it is what it is. No, and for transparency, I did not make my money back off that series.
Business expenses.
So I did not make my money off that game. Thank you very much, despite how well it did.
I saw a tweet that was from someone. They asked, how many hours do you expect to get from a game per dollar value? And in my mind, depending on the game, if it's a story mode game, I understand I'm not going to get the amount of hours. But if I buy, I'm just going to use the new college football game coming out.
Looking forward to
$70. I'm so excited. You have no idea.
I don't play football. I haven't played a football game in forever. I think since like Madden 09, to be honest with you.
It looks
so good. I love the college games, and I just like the franchise modes in those games.
Oh yeah,
and that looks.
You lose guys after 4 years. It's so much better than Madden.
And
you have to actually constantly build.
It literally looks like you can build like your own college, like from the ground up. So like, I'm actually looking forward to it. It might be the first like EA game that I've gotten. Is it EA?
Yes. They spent 3 years developing it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, hopefully it was somebody else developing it.
Everyone. Let me finish. So, people that because I watch certain YouTubers. I'll give one shout out. Not the expert. Not good at video games, but he got to test it. I trust his opinion. He said it's one of the best football games he's ever played. They're not paid for by EA, So I'm excited to try. It's gonna be from what I've read from everyone that got to play test it. It's the best football video game that EA has ever released, and will ever release. And if you don't like it, you're just not gonna like an EA football game, which is fine. But I saw a tweet that said, how many hours do you expect to get off a thing like a story mode game? Is $70. If the story is 15 hours, I'm happy, right?
Dude, a game can be 10 hours, and I'll get my enjoyment out of it.
But if it's a multiplayer game or a sports game, I want $1 an hour. Like I want to be able to play 70 hours of that game and enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. If I can't get $1 an hour, then I'm like, this game kind of sucked.
So, as someone who literally has a channel around doing Let's Plays, I play a lot of single-player games. And it doesn't matter whether I pay $5 or $300 for a game, generally because I buy the collector's edition. I want to obviously get some value out of the game. And I will say this right now. There are many games. I will use Starfield as an example. Started out strong. Game actually started out really good. And it fell off. It just fell off for me. It got boring and very repetitive. It was kind of like, okay, are we kind of through this now? I'm kind of over it. In the end, did I get my money's worth? No. I sunk 30, 40 hours into the game playing it because I had to level up, do different things. Right? I didn't get $130 worth out of the game. Then you take a game. Nope. Then you take a game like A Plague Tale: Innocence. Okay. The game is quite literally, I think, 8 hours long. Something like that. I've gotten the platinum trophy for the game in a day. It was long, but I managed to do it. Or almost a day. One of the best games I've ever played. Because just the characters and the acting and just the story was great. 100% would have paid full price for that game. Didn't. I got it on sale. But I would have paid, $70 for that game. No, without a doubt. So, to me, whatever game you get, it has to just provide some type of value to you in whatever you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Right? For me, yeah, play a game, pay $70, and get 8 hours out of it. For a lot of people, Hellblade 2. The game is 5 hours long, barely 5 hours long. 5 hours is like stretching it for the main story. I think it's like 8. I think it's like 8. I think it's like 8 or 10 hours or
those
something.
games should not be a full price game.
But you know, a lot of people praised Hellblade.
Yeah.
Right? They praised it because the game did it in 5 hours or whatever, 10 hours if you wanted to, you know, actually do everything inside the game or whatever. It sufficed and justified the price. Great for them. I think 5 hours for a game like that, not a chance in hell.
No.
Not a chance. But
I'm
I'm
paying
not the
$70
demographic for that game though. I don't like games like that. Rise of Ronin was a perfect example. I was super hyped for the game. I finished it and I couldn't wait to be done with that game. I was so over that game just because there was just so much about it that irritated me.
Oh shit.
But that's my take. I'm not a fan of those like arcadey anime cheesy fighting, you know, type of, and that to me was what it was. You know, and then I go play a game like Ghost of Tsushima, and like the fluid motion and everything about it, it's just like that's what I expected. I expected at least combat like that. No. So that game missed for me. I regret paying full price for it, but I sunk, you know, how many episodes did I do of that game? I don't even know. I think I did 20 something. And they all were like almost an hour long. Like they were 21, but all of them were 40, 30, 40, 30, 40, 40, hour and 13 minutes, 50 minutes. Everything really, if you averaged it out episode-wise, they were all like 40, 45-minute long episodes at least.
That's not bad.
Right? And there still was a ton of stuff to do. Justify going back to it. So it's all perspective at the end of the day. Right? If you get the value out of something, all that matters.
Yeah. Everyone's going to have their own opinion.
Yeah.
Opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the great thing about games, is there is something for everyone. Because someone doesn't like something doesn't make it bad. It just means that it didn't necessarily meet the expectation. Yeah. It didn't meet the expectation of what that person was hoping for, and that's fine. It happens. And with that,
we'll do the outro.
Thank you guys.
I hate to cut it so abruptly, guys. But
thank you guys for joining us.
We will be back more with.
We'll be back soon. More episodes.
We'll be back with more soon.
Absolutely.
God, I can't properly form sentences apparently anymore.
You can't speak. Anyways, I will outro us. Thank you guys very much for joining us for this episode. If you guys were listening on YouTube or any of the streaming services that we are on, let us know. What's your favorite game of all time? 100%.
Mine?
100%. What's your favorite game of all time?
What's your favorite game of all time?
Uncharted.
You know, it's going to sound cliche. I probably had the most fun on video games in playing Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2.
I shouldn't want to say a Call of Duty game.
I didn't either, but thinking back to it, I had no stress, just pure vibes. And playing games super late into the morning and then going to school the next day.
Right.
I miss it. Now I have to be an adult.
It sucks.
And go to bed for work.
Thank you guys for joining us for the Mismatch podcast. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
See ya.
See ya.